Oh, nice. I
Hey,
like
hey,
that.
hey, we are live. This is episode 4. Joining me with my co-host, Up Zelda. How you doing this week?
I'm doing pretty good, dude.
Looking at
Doing
more
pretty good.
mice, it appears. This is what we were talking about
Yeah,
before we went live,
yeah,
actually.
yeah. I gotta do my Orochi review, but then yes, I want to. There's a brand new mouse. Now this is an interesting one because I haven't unironically looked at a Steel Series mouse since the Rival 600. That would have been like 3.5 years ago now. I don't know. They've just made like my friend has a Aerox 3 and it's just looks like it's built. It feels like it's not built very well. I just feels like a lot of their mice don't make a lot of sense in the current market considering what the competition has. But this mouse has everything you're looking for, I think, in like a modern mouse. I mean, it's ergos and it's going to be a little bit bigger than I probably would like. Um, but
Not
yeah,
sure about the
71
shape.
grams.
Looks kind of
So
a
yeah,
little bit weird, but
shape's a little shape's gonna be like your classic ergo kind of. It's like really close to a Zowie mouse, and Zowie are known for being the most cloned mice. Like they've built some truly decent shapes over the years. But 71 grams, they've got. I think the second most expensive one has like a better sensor than the other one, and then the most expensive one is wireless at 80 grams. Um, But the most expensive, the wireless one, is 169 Canadian. So it's literally like they're trying to say that it's like cheapo super light levels of good. The reason that I would want to actually try this mouse is
this is what I gotta ask. The man who owns like 10 mice.
yeah. Well, the reason that this might be my next attempt is the switches. Like scroll up a little bit, so you can see the. So yeah, so usually you've got uh like this is a completely different mechanism for how things usually go. Usually they use springs for to regulate tensioning within this mouse switch.
Yeah.
The way that this shit works is that when you press down, the little thing that's over top of the little red light there,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
the
yeah.
little yeah, that's a magnet. And the magnet is tuned to have exactly I think like 50 grams of force or whatever.
Hmm.
And so when you press down, it won't let go of the thing to break the laser until exactly the right amount of force. So every single click is literally exactly the same apparently. So if you scroll down, yeah, so there you can see like you have your magnet and you have your spring, and then
So the
you can
magnet
see that
keeps
the
it regulated exactly to the
exactly
actuation of
right. So if
the.
you scroll down, they actually have a chart with
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
you can see the variation on spring force required or on like switch press required, and it's like yeah, super consistent. And
This has me
I'm like
intrigued.
clicks will get me. Like I will buy a mouse because StarCraft 2 is so spam click heavy and you're spam clicking all the time. Like a mouse with solid clicks is tied for me for how like important that is versus shape. Like if the clicks are A1, like if they're perfect, then I'll consider the mouse even if the body has something wrong with it. Like so good example is the XM1R where the mouse is too big. I don't feel like I play comfortably with it. It's a little bit too big a mouse. But the clicks are best in class. Like that's what they're known for. Is tuning their kale switches really well. And then this is like I don't know what this is. Is this good? I don't know. I'd love to find out.
This is
Love to
actually
give it a
something that
try.
like now I'm like trying to find an upgrade for because I went from the 903 that I
Yeah, yeah.
really liked. I was trying to see like can I get something that's a little bit smaller, a little bit lighter, and this has like been worn. I've worn it out kind of. So I went to the G903, this little wireless guy, and the click is just not the same. Like I
Yeah.
I some people really like it, and the more I use it, the more I'm like, it feels cheap. It feels like it's not quite there, and I don't. It's just very annoying. And I go back to
Yeah.
this one, and it's like, oh, this it just
So
activation
do you
point.
prefer the do you prefer the bigger, like the slightly bigger shape? Because like in between, would you be good with an in between? Because the
I would good.
XM1R is like
I would be good with something in between these two, but
yeah, try the XM1R. It's like $60.
Okay.
It's they have like,
I actually went to try to go get the Razer one, which is like something I haven't done in years. Is actually go
oh,
try
the
to get a Razer
Orochi.
one, the
Yeah.
the brand new one you were talking about on stream,
Yeah, 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 yeah.
and they were sold out, and I was like kind of disappointed. Like I was about to give Razer a
Razer a
shot again
quality
after
try.
I haven't
Yeah.
after I've like been like not liking them and avoiding their products
Oh,
for
you
like
want
forever.
wireless too, though, right?
Oh, it needs to be wireless. I have
Oh,
so much
okay,
mouse
okay, okay.
space. I use a 10 keyless keyboard just so that I can have extra mouse space in it.
Yeah. All right, all right.
Anyway, sorry. Back to Steel Series One
Yeah,
here.
yeah. I mean, this would be the. I think this is my next try. I'm gonna make my video on the Orochi, and I
Hmm.
think I'm gonna order one of these because I'm just so curious. Like, I'm almost sure I'm gonna just return it because the shape just doesn't look like something that I would be particularly interested by.
Hmm.
But I'm so curious about the Switches. So curious. I might wait a bit, see what people are saying. The wireless is so expensive though. Like, it's probably 120, 130 where you are, and it's 169 here. Yeah.
Hmm. Oh
I'm
yeah, I
very
see.
curious though.
Well, that'll
Yeah.
be interesting.
Definitely. And 100 million clicks too.
That's a
It's like
long time.
that's twice what Kale's does. Like, that's really, really, really good. So the reason that they managed to do that is because of the magnet being the thing that determines whether or not it lets go. The
That'll wear out much slower.
Yeah, it'll wear out slower, and they put a thicker spring in there as well. Yeah, very
Cool.
interesting.
Well, that's enough for like, hardware stuff today.
Yeah.
We'll get
Yeah. Okay,
wrapped up
so
with something else later. But
yeah,
so for topic of the week,
it's hot tub memes.
yeah. So like we discussed this, I think on maybe one or two of our past three episodes already, and
Yeah, because it was like bubbling up to the surface, and then now we're at end game hot tub meta. I think.
finally, endgame hot tub meta is right where I think the order of events for this occurred where before there was the official Twitch blog, Amaranth was one of the first people to have like something come out, news like she was like the hottest, biggest thing of the leader of the category of the just chatting hot tub streamers. I guess I'll phrase it that way, right?
15K. Yeah, she gets like 15K average or whatever.
So, she came out and was like, they're actually taking my ad money
Ad
and it's
revenue.
gone
Yeah.
now. It's just I no longer get ad revenue. And so this became a news story, and several other people noticed that this was the case as well. And then a couple days later, on the 21st, Twitch released an official like, let's talk about hot tub streams, right?
Yep.
And then
Yeah.
now we have a brand new group, a
Yeah.
brand new
Brand new
category,
category.
which a lot of people had actually been asking for a little bit.
Yep. Yeah, I think
Kind of made
I think
sense.
Twitch. Yeah, Twitch did like a 360 no scope on this one. I think like they outplayed. So like the criteria for entering that category is attire. Like, if you're wearing swimwear, then you're supposed to be streaming in the pools, hot tubs, and beaches. So and that kind of addresses like the reason that this very odd like meta man like where this loophole came from was that, people were using just chatting in, you know uh combination with like context,
Mhm.
right? They're
To get
using
their
the fact that
loophole
they're
in.
chatting, and the fact that where you are and what you're doing dictates what you can wear, right? So now they're just saying, hey, so if you're wearing X, you have to be streaming in Y, and that's it. Even if you're just like outdoors, like doing some other stuff, like it doesn't matter. You'll end up relegated to pools, hot tubs, and beaches, which I think is pretty smart because it stops like anyone finding another loophole to do the same thing. Like, it just not even stops them, but it just you get to be put in that category. And then the reason that they have this category, so like you can be rest assured that especially from the language that they used in the blog post is that Twitch is actually fine with hot tub streams. They think that there's nothing wrong with them. And I'm sure that Twitch would have loved to make the money that they were making from ads off of the hot tub streams. However, I imagine that it became some like an advertiser problem where advertisers didn't want to have their ads associated with that content because of all of I'm not even guessing because of the content because let's be honest, like I'm sure that there are advertisers that literally couldn't care less. Like I'm thinking like beer and like whatever like adult things being on more adult like
We've seen Trojan already advertising on the
yeah,
platform.
like
Like
they're Trojan
they
ads. Like I
probably are like all like get us in that category. I don't
yeah, exactly. That's fine. So what I'm guessing here is that uh they needed a way and I'm thinking this specifically because of how Twitch is basically in the Stone Age when it comes to ads. Like it's not like on YouTube. On YouTube, the advertiser chooses where they would want to put their ads,
yeah.
and the creator also gets to choose which ads would go with them. And so when you get ads on a creator on YouTube, you know that it's a symbiotic relationship where you know the creator is like, yeah, this is fine. This is what I'm okay with. And the advertiser is like, yeah, this is fine. This is what I'm okay with. And on Twitch, I imagine that they have some very high level, very basic controls for the advertiser, but there are none for the streamer. Like I have no say. Like I don't get a choice. Like no one's gonna ask me like what kind of ads do you want? Like stop putting Alienware on my stream, you know? Like I don't want that. But
Yeah. It's kind of interesting to see like the evolution of this all change and grow where YouTube has it where if you are in a specific group and you want to advertise to a specific thing, they're going to intentionally link that up. They have enough data where they're like, okay, this streamer is interested in this stuff. This uh, channel platform streams about cars or racing or something like that, and it'll try to connect those things up. One of Twitch's major hurdles at the moment is that they don't have that data for the streamers themselves. They don't have the data for like
yeah.
what those things are, and then they're just barely getting that advertising revenue or like data together. I think from the advertisers themselves now.
Yeah.
So at this point, now it's like okay, grab more data, try to start merging these two together. Um,
Yeah, I think they're going the brand risk direction. Like there are going to be three. I think this is what Devin Nash was saying. There's going to be he thinks there's going to be three tiers, like advertiser safe, partially advertiser safe, and then not advertiser safe. Like there's going to be three, like a green, yellow, red,
right.
and then like advertisers will just blanket be able to be on any one of those three. Um, and then I think they'll also be able to opt out of specific categories. So that's what they're doing. That was their approach with the hot tub thing. Because like I truly believe that if they actually have no problem with the hot tub meta, which it seems like they don't, then it would make the most sense to just let them keep chilling and just chatting. Because then you make the maximum amount of money because people, it's the highest viewed category at like 500K viewers average or whatever. But they split it off specifically so that advertisers can just say never show ads on anything in this category, period. And basically, like if you're, in just chatting or whatever, they'll just move you. Like they have somewhere to put you, and then that's it. That'll be what does it.
One of the
Like
biggest
you just
challenges that Twitch is facing right now is kind of like Snapchat. Snapchat had this issue where stories were the feature of the platform, and then
yeah
Instagram could do stories, and then Twitter can do stories, and like Snapchat slowly dying. So like the problem that Twitch is facing right now is like, oh wait, YouTube can do streaming. You can stream on Twitter now. You can stream on
yeah
Facebook for certainly. So what's Twitch's like speciality? What's the growth method? Well, we got to like work on something. We got to grow the platform. Here's our
yeah
biggest growing scene, our biggest growing category. We definitely don't want to turn those people away or like like ban them or have them go somewhere else. So from their point of view, it completely makes sense to add a category like this and embrace any type of growth along those lines that they can.
yeah yeah. Well, yeah. If it's yeah, I don't really know like I always found the hot tub meta controversy was just really, it just always felt really silly to me. Like I don't think anything anyone's really doing here is like morally unconscionable. It just doesn't. I don't know. So like I can imagine this is a really tough because how do you like what do you are you gonna decide that people like shouldn't be streaming because they're good looking? Like it's just like that's why this shit is a weird line, and their approach makes the most sense, I think, considering how they feel about it and just like the nature of the content. Like, what are you gonna do? Because like a lot of these people are just sitting in a hot tub wearing a bikini doing nothing, and there's nothing wrong with there's nothing overtly sexual about that. Like overtly, it's a very like you're so deep and you're like literally drowning in context here. Like if you stumbled upon like a video of somebody doing this with zero context, you'd be like, all right, so why is someone sitting in a hot tub? Cool. And then you'd hit next. Like, but because of the context, it's now a gray area. Like because of the entire situation, because of the whole meta, because of Twitch, because of subs, because of writing on your arm, and because of like, you know, having a floaty in the pool and it's not an actual hot. Like you start adding all the things, and now you've got like this weird, situation on their hands, and I think they really outmeted the meta on this one. Like in my opinion, I think that they played it as well as they could have,
I'm
which
trying to
is
actually.
a rare occurrence for Twitch. Like
Yeah,
I think usually Twitch makes, at least in the last 2 years, in my opinion, Twitch makes the worst decision or the second worst like decision of the myriad of ways that they could play something. I think that they take the worst possible road.
it's been kind of
Most
disappointing, honestly, to see like
yeah
how many bad decisions they made. I've almost
yeah
thought about pulling it up now to show the numbers, but like I don't know that I want to actually show this category. I guess this is fine. Like these are all on Twitch, right? I'm just showing thumbnails of it.
yeah, dude.
You ready?
It's
Are you
Twitch. Yeah,
ready?
it's Twitch content. My favorite is the dudes who like
They're
stream.
embracing this like, oh yeah, I'm a workout dude. I'm out here just
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
flexing my
yeah. They're
muscles and
just
everything.
yeah.
I
It's
did scroll through
amazing,
this
dude.
page real quick to make sure there was no porn that was going to pop up to the best of my ability. And porn you have to loosely define, of course, based on
Yeah,
what's here.
exactly,
Like, yeah, dude.
bro.
Uh,
I think one of the more interesting
oh,
arguments like that I've had is like whether or not this is softcore porn about this particular topic, and
among my
I am of the
friends,
opinion that it is
like,
absolutely not softcore porn. But the argument is not like it's not like cut and dry. I guess like
it's very hard
you
to be
know
cut and dry with this type of thing.
yeah. I'm not. I
Just,
don't. I really don't believe I'm wrong on this one. It's not softcore porn. I mean, I don't think it fits any of the definitions. It's like the scene before. Like if you're having like a softcore porn movie,
mhm,
well, like these are the scenes before the softcore porn starts. Like
just
they're
barely,
like the
or
bridge. Yeah, it's not. It's not. You know, it feels like this is the scene before the porno starts. Like it's not actually. I don't know.
so we've actually my friends group that is teased around the most like common term that we've been referring to this as is that Twitch is turning into Chatterbait 3.0. Like
3.0. Oh, okay.
yeah, because like there's the original Chatterbait and then like Twitch, the old Twitch before Hot Tub Meta. The
Yeah, yeah.
what
And
category are
that
they in now?
yeah, I don't know if
That
it's
was
I don't know
2.0.
if I go that far, but I could see
Yeah,
I see the yeah.
the nugget
It
of
just
truth in the joke is all I'm going for, but
no, for sure. The only
sure.
thing that's like kind of messed up about it is that for that kind of situation to occur, the hot tub streamer would have to acknowledge that that is what is happening. Like on stream, not just
What you say?
contextually.
Right.
They don't though, and that's the thing is it's truly a one-way street in that way. The Twitch streamer only acknowledges the non-lewd parts of the chat, This is being consistent with all of my market research, okay? Because I have been
How much
very
market research have you done on this? Should we?
not that much.
Okay.
Like, I mean, listen, when the hot tub had started, I knew this shit was going to be like a.
Mhm.
It's going to be a point of a sticking point, and I was extremely curious as to how Twitch would handle it, because I think it sets a massive precedent for everybody. Because it's these riskier genre, like riskier metas that set the precedent for how a lot of shit happens on the website outside of
Of
like
course.
them, right?
Yeah.
Like this is literally going to set the precedent for how brand safety is measured on every stream on Twitch. Like that is like it's the beginning of a cascading effect, and they forced the hand more, right? Because it was a in the news topic, and so now they're forcing progression on what brand safety is. I mean, fortunately, ads are literally shit on Twitch. So if anyone loses their ad money, no one's crying because that's not how anyone makes their money anyway.
At the moment, yeah.
But
But that could change. So like, there's the juggernaut in the room of Google where they're like, oh, we have so many more viewers. It's literally like
yeah,
thousands and thousands to one of Twitch users, right? And then you take a look at how much they're advertising and all this stuff. But if you take a look at how many actually live stream viewers and hours go out, Twitch is actually doing way more than YouTube in terms of like streaming numbers, right? In terms of like hours watched and stuff like that. So what's might actually be interesting is might actually be setting the precedent for what happens on YouTube and Facebook and other live streaming platforms. What happens here of like how advertisers agree or sign on, or what type of policy ends up shaping who gets what delivered to them. There's some precedent set by YouTube for some of this,
yeah,
but not all. It's not all already predetermined.
yeah. Listening to Devin Nash, so you get a good idea of why YouTube's so much better. It's because they have an algorithm with keywords and shit, and anyone can buy ad space. Like I could buy ads on YouTube and pay to target them to certain keywords and certain types of people and certain types
You
of
can do it on
content.
Facebook too. But yeah,
Yeah, but not Twitch. Twitch is still wholesale ads. So Twitch won't ever like. I don't think, and I agree with Devin Nash on this topic. The amount of money it took Facebook and YouTube to create those systems, it's not like Twitch can just start doing it. Like they would have to pay millions and millions of dollars to
mm-hmm.
develop the exact same system or something of a similar nature. It's not something they can just whip up and all of a sudden it's there. Especially when you look at like how poorly they handle like advertising in general. Because if you look at YouTube, like YouTube, you can just choose not to run ads. That's an acceptable practice there. Even though technically for most YouTubers, that's the only way they make money. They still can choose not to roll them. But Twitch is so hard up that they won't do that. Like it's more that they're trying to get everyone to run ads and trying to force the hand, and they won't concede anything aside from that. But Dan brought up Death in Chat brought up that Amaranth is making 30K a month from ads, which is way more than I would have thought. Um, I wonder if she was rolling them manually between like bikini changes or whatever the hell she's doing.
So
Um,
as far as I know, she was rolling a few manually. However, the vast
yeah,
majority of her income was still not coming from ads. Like
no, for
when
sure,
we
but
say
that's
30K,
still like
people might get this image of like, oh, that's a lot of money. That was like her. No,
yeah,
like that's compared to what she actually pulls in.
yeah.
30K is still a small fraction of it. Sorry, go ahead.
It's probably a third or like maybe a fourth because she's got 20K subs, which puts her 70K, right? And then yeah, she'll have the better subs
Of course she
obviously.
will.
So she has 70K, and then tips will probably given what she's doing, tips will probably be like 40K, right? So 30K is not something to sneeze at, especially since it's monthly. By the time you're done a year, you're at like 300K from ads, and that's out the window, and that's a very substantial chunk of money. It's no joke for sure, but yeah, I mean she doesn't make the majority of her money there, and that's probably why she will make sure that she's doing like she streams the most, and so you have the most to look at when you're looking at how she handles her shit there. So she'll probably do like half hot tub streams to pad the subs and whatever,
Mhm.
and then half non hot tub streams so she can get the ad revenue back and do whatever else, right?
I don't know. Like I watch other people do it, and she basically seems content to just do hot tub streams, as far as I can tell. And
She does other stuff still. She still
okay,
like works in her regular rotation of
maybe I
stuff
haven't done
like
enough scientific
ASMR.
research on this.
I mean when it's like it's literally when Jason's your friend who's a huge Amaranth fan
I see.
and all and also a bunch of your friends are Twitch streamers and also everyone is talking about it. You just come to
It
know
just
everything that there is to know, right?
some of the data
And
just
also like
comes forth. Yeah.
people I have to know about the shit, and like I'm not just defending myself. Like it's fine. I look at the chick in a hot tub, woohoo. But like you have to know because people come into chat and they're asking and talking about the shit like a bunch of troglodytes. Sometimes
Hmm.
they're like saying stupid shit about the meta and about well, you know what like this shouldn't be allowed. Like you have to understand the situation so that you can just tell these people they're being idiots in a way that doesn't say you're being an idiot.
Without being too
Like
harsh on them. Yeah.
yeah, because people like read something on Twitter, they read a headline, and then they're like, "Oh, you know,
They think they
Twitch
got
is
a hold.
chatterbait now." It's like, but like not unironically. Like
We,
this is
to be
like,
clear, we were using it very
of
ironically.
course, like you were
Just
saying, like
yeah.
it's the joke, it's the nugget of truth in the actual joke, but that implies that there's a joke that
But
it's
some
not
people are doing it
entirely.
unironically, and it's
Yeah, because
without
they
the
just
full
read the
data.
headline and that's it. Like
Yeah.
you know, they're like, "Oh my god, what's happening to Twitch?" It's like it's a plague. But it's just it's nothing like well in a couple of years like no one will look back at this and be like this was the end
I fully
like
expect like the whole crafting. When you think of like how YouTube works and a lot of the data, a lot of people go to YouTube to learn. Like,
yeah
there's not. I think there's a vacancy of this data on you on Twitch right now, where like if I go to fix something on my car, there's a huge
yeah
oh, how do I replace my battery? I know how to do this without looking at the thing, but like if I go to replace the lock in my car door and I buy the lock and have it shipped to me, right? I can go find a YouTube video that shows me exactly how to do that. That
yeah
like do it yourself repair crafting section, I think is due for a big like explosion where people are come to Twitch, especially once they figure out AdWords, and people will be able to use Google to find those streams of data for that, like car repair or whatever. I think that is going to blow up, and then there's going to be like several other little pockets. Like cooking
yeah
recently has blown up a little bit. I think a lot of these things will kind of catch up, and then there'll be much more variety of content across Twitch as a general as it becomes a bigger market player where content is upload, streamed, etc.
when it comes specifically to DIY the reason that it hasn't blown up on Twitch is because usually people are looking for specific projects and Twitch
Mm-hmm.
completely annihilated their VOD section like off planet Earth with the DMCA shit everyone's like deleted everything so and they have no good way of categorization and searching or whatever. Like, there's no keyword search. There's nothing. It's like a complete shit show and completely useless.
But I'm saying those
Um,
are things that can be fixed and brought back.
they
It'll
can be
take
fixed, but
at the rate they're moving, it's
yeah.
going to take 3-4 years. But
Well,
like,
no, they won't be fixed though because it's not worth. Like, they already if they had any intention of fixing it, they never would have recommended everyone delete their shit like they did. Because the reason YouTube's so sick is because if you have a problem, like any problem, you're like, all right, I need to figure out how to like, you know, install some inline duct fan and that's
mhm.
like completely random like that's something like 1 in 1,000 people or 1 in 10,000 people in like any given radius would actually ever think to do like as long as someone has ever done it on YouTube it's there still and easily searchable whereas on Twitch all of that backlog is gone so and no one's making it now either. Like if they were to start, they'd have to start from ground zero. And the thing about YouTube is that it's only as powerful as the content that you can actually search. Like the thing that's good about Twitch is that every day you turn into Twitch, new content is being made en masse. But no one keeps it here. No one keeps any of the good moments here. It's it's like a temporary like blip You know, if they just turned off the servers, like, would anyone ever know? It's people constantly yelling in a forest. Like, that's what it is. Whereas YouTube is a constant history where everything is, searchable at any given time.
I think that's
It's so,
something that they eventually will kind of have to change.
I don't think they will. I just don't like I was in exactly the same boat as like I was in the same headspace as you for this. I think
What changed your
Twitch
mind?
is because Twitch's major strength is a cultural thing. Like that's where it is. Like the way that they make it so you can't leave. You know, once you're in, you can't leave. As far as live streamers go, and the Twitch Prime money and all of these things that Twitch keeps you embedded in their system with, VODs just don't play into that. Like VODs don't give you any of the things that Twitch is actually good at and actually specializes in. They could have changed that, right? Like no, there's no chat interaction with VODs. No one's going to subscribe off of VOD. No one's going to throw their Twitch Prime off of VOD. You get very little ad revenue off of a VOD. Like all the things that VODs do, like Twitch already has monetized everything except for that. Whereas YouTube figured out how to monetize that, and that's what they do best. And they've had, if you look, like YouTube is, even though YouTube has the long arm of Google and tons of very talented developers and all the AI in the world, they haven't been able to beat Twitch. Twitch has grown in spite of that, and the reason is because no matter how hard, how much money you throw at a problem, if you don't bring the spirit like with it, you're not going to succeed. And they have no direction, and they are trying to approach YouTube Live like their other projects, and so they just fall continuously and perpetually flat on their face over and over and over
Especially
again.
with,
Whereas,
as our chat's pointing out here, like the viewer stream interaction. Like they've that is one of the biggest lacking things that every time I watch any live content on YouTube, is it you feel it so painfully.
yeah, and realistically speaking, like you know, right now the ecosystem is, people actually like the way that it is. I know that might be like weird to think about, but they're okay with streaming on Twitch and uploading VODs to YouTube. Like, and it almost feels better that the two are separated because it diversifies your income path, right? No
Yeah.
one wants to be that guy who streamed on YouTube, uploaded VODs on YouTube, and used the social media tools of YouTube. And then YouTube decided that they were too controversial, or YouTube had an algorithm blip and they got banned because it's happened before, right?
Many
Like,
many
and
times,
now that's
yeah.
it. You've got nothing. You're out. Or like you're the guy who lost his literal Google account, right? And now that's it. He lost his Gmail and he literally lost his YouTube and he lost everything all at exactly the same time. There's no recourse, right? Whereas, if you take all these platforms and you use them for what they're good for, it also diversifies your brand and your income. Like, and I think people are okay with that, and that's why streamers don't like they're okay with not streaming to both. They're just fine with it. They don't care.
It's like the smart decision to not have all your eggs in one basket, and this is like true of
Absolutely.
like posting on social media platforms as well. It's the same thing.
Yeah. And I think specifically with Twitch, clearly Twitch isn't making enough money to pay bills as it is, like with
Right.
the data rates that they've got and stuff. And so by keeping the scope of what they do smaller, they can do those things better.
Of course.
Not that you see that, in my opinion, really. Like some features are good. The channel points is unironically one of their best products. Like they've done more with channel points than I ever could have thought that they would have done.
It
They've
helps
turned
with
everyone
user
into
retention so much. Joey and I were talking
Yeah.
about this just a couple
For
days
sure.
ago. Like, I bet on this game. Now I got to see how it turns out. Like that hook
Absolutely.
is tremendous.
Dude, I made emotes for it because
Yeah.
I realized this shit is only getting more, like, it's only getting more fun.
Yeah.
Like, and everyone gets in on it. It's actually very well done. And I'm bringing it up only because I literally shit on Twitch nonstop. It's nice to say
They
like,
provide us
hey,
enough reasons to shit on
you
them.
did good job, man. Like this is good. The people that created like channel
Mhm.
points betting, like whenever they had that eureka moment or like they got that through like the like myriad of bureaucracy I'm sure that there is to like push a feature live, like they really won with that. And but they also do a lot of other really stupid shit, mostly on the support end because there's like none, you know.
This is one of their biggest problems right now. I think why they're trying to push a lot of the ad stuff so that they can pull in more money is because they need way more support staff because they've grown so much and they still have like
Yeah.
or
Oh,
how
definitely.
big they are, they have like a skeleton crew. And every time
That's
I try to
confirmed.
reach people and
Yeah.
like hear about various projects that they have or working on in the background, which I can't name any of, which we may never see light of day anyway. But right, but like they're just so slow moving with all of it. They're having a hard
Yeah.
time because they just can't find enough people or hire enough fast enough, train enough. It's a great big problem. But
So the ad topic is the only topic that I've actually got so triggered about that I started poking around like Twitch staff and shit.
mm-hmm.
Like and not in a not in like a mean way, like a productive way. I like talk to the ad team and like I've talked like quite a bit of shit on Twitter. From multiple sources from Twitch like staff, it is being made extremely apparent to me that they have an intense pressure to monetize with ads. Like, and it's
That's
not
coming from Amazon too.
necessarily
Like this is not
Twitch. It's not Twitch
Twitch,
internal,
right?
right? And this is like decently public knowledge, but I also know from like people that work there and like people in the like in that Discord and stuff that it's an extremely major pressure for them. Like, and that's why they went full nuclear with ad block. They're willing to piss everyone and their dog off just just to make more money off of it because they have no choice. Like it's not. I understand the conundrum that they're in. I understand that the deving of shit takes time, but I mean, uh, this is one thing I actually understand. Like I know where the pressure's coming from. It's not that they want to do it. They hate ads as much as anyone else. Like most of the people who are on the ad team don't like ads either.
You know what? One of
But
their
I mean,
real bad catch 22s is right now is that
mm,
they're in my opinion, I think I should preface this with a bunch of disclaimers here, but the Twitch Turbo subscription now has
yeah,
like a ton of value to it. But the problem is that a lot of Twitch streamers are selling the subscription to their own personal channels as this is how you don't have to watch ads on my channel. The problem is as
right,
soon as you sell them one Twitch Turbo subscription, now all those channels are suddenly like
yeah,
way less appealing to sub to if you're not having those ads hit you all the time. So Twitch themselves doesn't necessarily want to like advertise the Twitch Turbo program more and like push it forefront. This is how you get rid of ads. This is how you support because like then they make less money maybe overall per streamer.
yeah. Well, I know for a fact that Twitch Turbo isn't profitable. Like if you sell a Twitch Turbo subscription and a person has Twitch on all the time,
Mm-hmm.
you're going to actually lose money. Like that person is worth more in ads with pre-rolls and shit
And this is with ads
than
being extremely low value right now too.
well, they're
Like
not low value.
they're gonna go up
They're low value
from
for
here.
us.
Right.
They're not low value. That's the catch. It's not like, YouTube can because of YouTube's
Let me rephrase.
massive
They're
number.
going to gain in
Yeah,
value.
sure. So, yeah, obviously Twitch would absolutely love to make more money on ads uh like through like because of personal streams. They prefer that.
Right.
They like, and the thing is that people will, if somebody's gifted a sub, it brings retention, right? Like that a lot more than anything else, and then people are more likely to convert that into a sub, and it locks them into a couple streamers, and like that snowballs and stuff. Whereas I personally think that Twitch, I am going to guess if I had to like levy a guess, is that Twitch doesn't actually like channel surfers. They're not a fan because channel surfers are just less likely to contribute to the ecosystem in general, right? They're more likely to go from one streamer to one streamer to one streamer to one streamer and never get attached to any streamers and then never give bits and never subscribe. That's my guess. So if you actually can get yourself into one or two streamers, they're more likely to make money off of you, I think. And now all they need to do is get the streamers to actually roll ads, and that's it. Boom. They've maximized profit off of you because
I've actually thought about this a little bit, where it kind of hurts the growth of Twitch to some degree, where you get like some people I know watch YouTube and they watch YouTube
yeah,
content from gaming creators, and I'm like, do you know they stream on Twitch? You can go watch their thing. And they're like, I just get hit with so many ads. I don't like the platform. I don't get attracted to it.
yeah,
Well, it's like, well, you can only solve that problem so much. Of like, okay, well, I say I haven't done this, but say I gift that person a sub directly to the person they're watching on Twitch. Okay, well,
yeah,
their experience doesn't necessarily change a whole lot when it comes to discovering other channels. Say Saikuno's streaming with somebody else who's also streaming Grand Theft Auto, and they're like,
right,
I know that person in the background of that stream, or like he's pulling a bank robbery with. Let me go listen to his stream, and then they go over there and they get hit with all those ads. They're way less likely to explore the platform. So I think one of the things that should be their top priority, if I had a magic ball or something, would be to actually fix the you've seen an ad in the last 15 minutes. Don't hit them with another ad when they go to a new channel. Like, this is such a problem right now for
it's
gaining
supposed
new
to.
users
I'm
on
pretty sure.
It doesn't, though, as far as I can tell.
because they have bugs like
It's
crazy. But my understanding is that if you've seen an ad, you get flagged, and you're not
it's
supposed
supposed
to
to.
see another, and not supposed to see another. No, 100%, you're not supposed to.
I'm
And
assuming somebody's working on it in the back end, and it's
oh,
supposed to be
absolutely.
fixed.
They ask in the partner Discord to submit that ad, and anyone that you know that has that happen
Okay,
to
that's good to
submit
hear.
to submit like a report of the ad because that ad is not supposed to show. If you've seen a pre-roll, if you've watched through, so what usually happens is that people leave an ad before it's done, and then it doesn't set the timer, and that's why you continuously get spammed because you like people click out or whatever. But if you watch the ad and then
You I
won't.
know when that was implemented. That was actually implemented because, like, right when they were rolling out these ads and like being super
Yeah,
hyper
yeah,
aggressive with it, people were just like, "Oh, you can refresh twice, and then you don't have to watch the whole ad." So they had to like implement that timer.
yeah.
There's also the I lost my train of thought. Red. Oh well, maybe I'll find it again. That's what it was. So when a lot of it was combating ad blocker and uBlock origin, and I assume how complex it is to get by those is not easy to write code that it avoids both the uBlocker and
Yeah.
ad block, which they've successfully done. But that adds such a layer of complexity. I assume that brings a little bit more into the it's not quite as an easy fix anymore to do or fix
Yeah.
feature XYZ. So they definitely have the
Well,
work cut
they
out
just
for 'em.
made it so that if they detect ad block, they make the experience worse. Right? They just every 15 minutes they will roll that purple screen at you
Right.
and be like, "Knock it off, bitch." Like, so yeah, it's a ads are like a interesting topic, I think. But like I don't know, like it just goes kind of with their whole like their whole thing is so different, I think, from the way that I almost kind of prefer it in some ways. Like I prefer that Twitch manually manages their ad deals. I don't know why. There's something more personal about that. Like Twitch is like, yeah, all right, we're gonna sign all these ad deals and then we're gonna roll them. Then just like any idiot can like create an ad
Oh,
and
for
then
sure.
you can.
I'm with you there.
There's just something about that. Like I don't know if I'm kind of willing to take the concessions. Like they're actually baiting right now, and this is public knowledge too. They're baiting how long pre-rolls get disabled per ad roll. They're changing the value. I think they want to do like 3 minutes per hour or something like that. It's like one of the beta values. I didn't get in personally. There's like a bunch of different values. Like, but I would roll when I get up to like go to the washroom or like fill my coffee. I would roll 3 minutes of ads to kill an hour worth of pre rolls. I think. Um, is like my channel has like a decently high sub to non sub ratio,
Right.
so I wouldn't feel too bad about it. But that's a lot of pre roll time out. Like an hour for 3 minutes is a lot because before you could run 90 seconds and get 40 minutes. But like, you know, 3 minutes. 3 minutes is like pretty decent to get an hour out of it. That's the length of like 2, 3 SC2 games. Like it's quite a while, I
For
think.
sure.
What would you roll
There's
for like a day? You would if I had like a 5 hour stream. Uh, what would that be? How many minutes? 15 minutes total for 5 hours.
which is like
15 minutes of ads for
not that
five
bad.
hours of. That's nothing. That
I've
feels
actually
like
thought about this
really.
like on podcasts, like as many of the viewers will know, I dabble in making some podcasts. So like I've thought about like, is it possible for some of these big ones to have like, say, last week, Saturday, we were streaming on Rotterdam's channel. There's only so much pre-roll ad I can get away with
Yeah.
when a specific time. I'd like for there to be like a small pool of stuff for like, oh, for the next 3 hours, here's the advertisement, here's the stream link, etc., or something. And then afterwards, I kind of want it to be a bumper thing where they're like, yo, you don't get ads, but now after that momentary piece in time when now you've gained a bunch of viewers, they get hit with a nice big one at the end, so that it's not like, oh, you got all for free based on the first 300 viewers and you rolled 15 minutes of ads at once. Like it kind of needs to be spaced out a little bit. I understand why they're not going to give us too big a chunks of time all at once, but I'd like a little bit, like
Right.
2 hours would probably be the maximum they'll ever
No,
think to allow
I think
it.
yeah, 2 hours would be fantastic. Like that'd be that, but that's asking a lot. Like you're asking
I kind of
the
want
amount of time people would have to
I
like
kind of
be
want a
in
limit
channel
on
for that
that.
to be good.
Like you could do
Yeah.
that like once or twice a week maximum. You can't do that like
Yeah.
each day.
They were doing a
something like
lot
that.
of like reconnaissance about like what kind of if you would do like fixed scheduling ads. Yeah, like all that. But I just like pointed out like everybody's streaming incredibly dynamic shit.
Yeah.
You're never gonna get away with this nonsense. Like it just doesn't make any sense. It just doesn't work for the platform. Like it just sucks. But eventually people need to take some kind of break. That's true. So as long as you can just get that distance to be long enough that people are willing to roll the ads, because I mean the people do bounce. It's true. But I mean people are gonna bounce anyway when you get up and go to the washroom or get up and go get coffee or get up and check on something or stretch or whatever. People
It's
leave anyway.
unavoidable to some degree. Yeah.
Yeah. So if you're literally like if those people dip anyway, then at least you can buffer against the pre-roll people. Because, like, I imagine that there are two categories of people: people who will leave and people who won't leave. And the will leave people or the won't leave people are probably subbed, so they probably won't even see the ads anyway,
Right.
right? And the will leave people, well, they're gonna fuck off either way, so they're not gonna catch the ad, right? And then when they come back, they won't get an ad either.
Yeah.
So
Exactly.
good shit. Like that's
We're getting close
perfect.
to it being a really workable solution. So
Yeah, I think that's definitely them extending it to an hour and a half. Is a very legitimate strategy, I think. And I think it also would make streamers like take breaks that are actually of a decent length, like a 3 minute stretch break or something like that, as opposed to like literally running into the house and then running back.
it kind of moves us
You
a
know?
little bit, and like just like my own like brain's way of processing this, it kind of moves us more and more toward being like syndicated TV, where like we're running our own show, be it a super big
Yeah.
pylon show production or just like a one-man streamer operation of like, I am going to take a dedicated break in the middle here and interrupt the content on purpose, and you can go to the restroom, etc. Like it's part of the show, expected to some degree now. It's
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean they always come back to that it's nowhere near as bad as like TV, and it's not like it's not.
Which is a
Yeah,
very
I mean,
valid point.
yeah, it's not. Like I think I just started watching Community, and episodes are 30 minutes long on TV, right?
I think so.
I think the episodes are 18 minutes long,
Yeah, that
which is
sounds about
just
right.
like 12 minutes, almost literally half ads. Like,
Yeah, the same is true with like other shows like Scrubs and stuff like that, right?
yeah,
They're just like,
that's insane. 18-minute episodes? Holy shit.
magnify that by an hour so that you get the right
Yeah,
scale.
man.
Like, okay, so you have an hour
This
show.
is literally like this is actually why TV is like dying.
They
If we're
oversaturated us with
being real,
ads.
like if we're being real here, it's because you're trying to
It's
jam.
why
You
Netflix
put
took off. Like,
dude, it is, and that's why Netflix won't add. Like they won't run ads. They won't do it. They will not do it. They will do anything in their power not to roll them because they know exactly why.
this is why Hulu started struggling recently, is I think, is they tried to throw all these ads in there, because even though they're like advertising for some of the ads are like advertising for other shows on
Yeah,
Hulu, it's people still get that. Ugh, is it's
it's
baked
very
into the part of the
frustrating,
content. Like,
dude. It's a human thing. When you click button
I
and
want
X is
show.
supposed to happen, right? It's just an expectation deal. Like if I go like so, let's say I go to Netflix and I click a button and I start watching a show. Okay, so I click button and X happens. Now I go to another place. I go to Hulu and I go to click a button and X is supposed to happen, but instead Y happens. Well, as a person, I'm fucking pissed because I was expecting X, but I got Y, and so I'm just already mad because my expectation was subverted, and now I'm pissed.
It's even
Like,
worse
and
because
humans are like that.
they buffer it. They're like, X is right behind Y. It's coming. Hold on. It's like
Yeah, well,
you
yeah,
feel like you're on a
it's just
fishing rod. Like,
exactly. You're like expecting to like sit down and chill, and then this ad comes in, and you're just like, what the fuck?
I don't want to
You
see this
know,
shit.
like, this is ridiculous. Yeah, it would almost be better if they had literally like if they gave you the show and then halfway through the episode, like a countdown timer showed and then an ad rolled, because then I don't want to give Hulu any fucking ideas, but then at least when someone clicks a button, they get what they came for,
Yeah.
right? They get what they came for. Like I don't get that mad with YouTube. Like I click on I click on a YouTube kind of creator, I get a skippable ad. It's 5 seconds long, and then when ads pop up in between, like I'm not mad. I just don't care. But on Twitch, it infuriates me as opposed to what it is on YouTube. Like on Twitch, is absolutely
It's
infuriating.
kind of actually. So I have YouTube Red, and it's actually kind of triggering when I'm watching somebody else who doesn't have YouTube Red and they get hit with YouTube ads, and I'm like, it just
Yeah,
it feels so foreign. Like, I don't know. I don't want to
yeah. I
say it's
might
like
actually get YouTube
a
Premium.
privileged first world thing or whatever, right? But like, it just
It's
it's so annoying.
I don't know. It's poor. I think it's like, I mean, ads are a means to an end, right? But I think it's poor design. It's I prefer like I wish everyone ran ads like Linus runs ads. I think Linus is like he makes it only like it takes a very special creator to make ads fun, you know?
Yes,
And
and
every time.
roll them into your content, have them as part of your content.
Yeah.
The more people are
And
able to
those are
do
way
that, the
more
better.
powerful.
Yeah,
Like
people will
those
respond to those better.
that's why people spend so much money. Companies spend so much money on these product placements that come from creators because when a creator actually believes in the thing that they're being paid to sell,
Hmm.
then the conversion rate is probably an incountable amount higher. Like, I'm not that I'm sure it is actually measurable, but
Oh, it's
you know,
dynamically
yeah.
measurably higher.
I never
Like,
buy anything off of an ad I see. Period. But I would be more likely to buy if I was like, VPN shopping. Like I would probably be more likely to pick whatever Linus was like, yeah, ExpressVPN or NordVPN or whatever. Like, I'd actually buy that because I'd be like, oh, I mean, Linus says it's good, so okay.
they even joke about it. Linus does with
Yeah,
his crew, and it's like you can tell that they're like, we want to support a good ad VPN
yeah,
company here because XYZ, and we know all this stuff. They're actually very open and transparent with their whole system and
yeah.
who does what. And I appreciate that. More people need to take that approach to it.
I mean, see, the thing is that like, yeah, I watched a Wen Show episode like or like part of it or whatever when they were talking about this, and they said that they're good to advertise anything that does what it says that it will do. Like,
Was this the one we were talking
and
about the mobile game?
yes, like
Okay,
Raid Shadow
okay, yeah,
Legends.
yeah.
Yeah. And I think that they stopped like doing that because they
Mhm.
just didn't know the whole situation. And it's impossible. Like they're still a team of human beings. But I like their approach is very like I wouldn't go that way because like if I don't actually want to do the thing myself, like I wouldn't want to sell it because like in my opinion, the most powerful marketing is that I actually use this thing.
If I
Like
believe in
that
the
is
thing,
if I believe in the thing, I'll use the thing or play with the thing or whatever. Like, you know, the only reason I wouldn't, like, let's say like I'm talking about this mouse, like I would say buy this mouse, right? And the only reason I might not be using it is because I just like to try the newest shit for fun. It's my hobby. But like if I had to, pick a mouse, like this would be a fine thing to use, and I've used it for a long time, whatever. Whereas I appreciate like the way that Linus frames, like Linus and and LMG frame ads is it's just in line with their product reviewing, which is that they'll tell you it's okay to buy something if the thing does what it says it does, and they'll have thing if the thing does what it says it does, and even if it's not like 100%, perfect, if the VPNs, then they'll sell it. Like if the paper protector you put on your iPad makes it more like paper, then they'll sell it. Like if it does what it says, that's fine. It doesn't have to be something that they all use. None of them might use it, but
The fact
you
that
know,
there's that quality control check that they're like, yo, we tested this thing to make sure it does the thing is huge for the people actually listening.
yeah.
Like,
What was their problem with Raid Shadow Legends? Do
so
you
like a
remember?
lot
Was
of
it the
their
predatory market practices, or
predatory
was it like
marketplace, and that like in order to actually play or advance or win in any part of the game, it was basically a pay to win thing, and so many people hated it for pay to win plus predatory marketing practices plus just like
yeah, there was a
tons and tons of
specific
viewer
thing that they did.
hatred towards it. I believe
There's
it's
a
mostly
specific thing.
the pay to win thing. Like if you actually try to
Yeah.
advance through the game, because they like tore it down, they went like, "What is this?" Right? I think that was the biggest one where um, they were super upset and trying to figure out like, okay, why are all these people upset at this? Well, it turns out, as far as we can tell from my recollection of this, people have a really hard time actually advancing in the game.
Uh,
I'm assuming you're looking it up now.
yeah, I couldn't. I can't remember. Uh,
It might be on their
yeah, I
forums
can't
or
remember if
something.
there was a specific thing, but apparently, yeah, it was like I think the way that the Reddit thread is sort of attributing it was that it was like just there's so much outrage because of it. Um,
That was their number
I
one,
can
like why they took a hard look at it. But I think there was also like a lot of
yeah.
trying to figure out why people were pissed at it.
I think it's just because the game is like just completely pay to win, and there's like no, it's just a cash grab, honestly, and it's incredibly annoying, and I can understand that because yeah, people like yeah, like Crass Culture saying in chat, like and if the streamer has added that if you have over 50 subs and are on Twitch, they'll come. Yeah, of course. Like they've offered me money, like they've offered every streamer
They
money,
just
like
it's like a
yeah, of
plague. You
course,
can't get away from them.
yeah, and it's
People get
I don't
tired
know.
with the same thing everywhere. They get tired of being hit with the same baseball bat, you know? Like
Yeah.
if you see the same used car sales ad a zillion
Mostly it's
times.
that it's not exactly a game, says Killer Smile. I can understand why you'd have that take.
That's what a
Yeah.
lot of the mobile games are. Is like, hey, let's hit your endorphin system. Bing bing.
Yeah, but it's like, and I can understand why, like, I can understand why Linus would have not done it then, because considering what Linus LMG is,
Mhm.
and like what they actually do on the channel and what they actually promote, like Raid Shadow Legends is like the opposite of that, right? Like, yeah, like, but Clash, you actually play it, right? You sure you got to buy all the shit, but it's actually like a game behind it, and it's actually it can actually be competitive, you know?
Right.
Yeah,
I think there's a
yeah,
very
yeah,
different.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's a very good
Yeah,
point.
yeah.
Uh, Crash culture
I
and
think they've talked enough shit about pay to win that it actually would have been like not a conflict of interest, but like
anti.
run as an like yeah, like anti
It's
their own opinion,
hypocritical is the word I'm thinking of.
hypocritical. Yeah,
Um,
I can see why they didn't have to like concede to the pressure because again, it's just a product. Like and the product says click next to like get reward, and that's what it does. But It's a specific type of product that they hate and have very clearly stated they don't like in other contexts. And I don't think my guess is that no one there, like every one of them, is like a an adult or like a a legit gamer or like whatever the fuck or like a retro gamer. I bet you none of them had played it. And so they were like, all right, so like sure, they're willing to throw an obscene amount of money. It's a pay to win game. Like I'm sure there's a game involved, but if there's no game involved, like that makes more sense
Right, right.
as to why. Because it's literally not something that they would ever tell you to buy or pay money for ever. You know?
Killer Smile says they probably tried it. They talked about this. They tried it afterwards, after they signed the first deal or whatever.
Yeah.
But like not
My guess is
actually
that
before. And if they did it before, it was one person that was like they booted up on a tablet and was like, "Oh, it functions," and that was probably about it as far as it went. Crass Culture brings up a really good point about mobile games in general, where if you have it on your phone, your iPhone or your Android, that type of mobile game where you pay for it, you can download it for free on a device you already paid for separately. That's a very different mobile gaming experience than if you play it on a Switch and you purchase the hardware and you purchase the game.
Yeah. Well, a Switch can be a desktop console. Like it can be a real console. Right. It's not. It's only mobile because they put a battery on it.
Right, but I'm saying like you don't download premium pay to win stuff on a Switch necessarily. That's totally different.
Yeah, they've got the eShop or whatever. But like even if you could, like that doesn't.
That's not the majority of the player base.
It's not. It's more that the game itself just isn't really a game. I think it all comes back to that, whether or not like why they wouldn't actually take the ad, which is interesting. Like I haven't listened to that talk in like a long time. All I got out of it was that they just like weren't down to continue with it. There wasn't what I came out with it at the time is that the backlash wasn't worth the profit because they could have just taken a different sponsorship. Like, so it was just not worth it. Like, why bother doing something so controversial? It's not like they stand for Raid Shadow Legends. It's not like they're like, all right, no, fuck all of you. You're all wrong. Like, Raid Shadow Legends is great. I enjoy it.
That was the thing that you could tell from that talk that so absolutely shocked Linus. It's like he just could not believe how many people absolutely fucking hated like the outpouring of abysmal hatred toward it. It was astounding to him. Like he'd never he was in shock, dude.
My guess, and this is a lot. I think my wife's calling me because I think it's like time to eat or something.
Okay. Wrap it up.
But my last point about this, and then you can rebuttal or finish it off. Oh shit! No, I've lost.
Not like this.
Not like this. Oh, okay. Yeah, I remember. It is because I think it's literally like Raid Shadow Legends represents everything people actually like. The direction of the industry has been headed a certain way for a long time. Like, EA has perpetuated it. You've got like your Bejeweled shit, and we've been headed this way for a long time. Something like Raid Shadow Legends literally represents everything gamers have fought tooth and nail to dodge and avoid and condemn.
Very true.
It is the antithesis of everything that people who play games have fought against, right? Or everyone was like, and then you have this game that everyone just immediately realizes is the most offensive shit possible, but they figured out that they can actually convert addicts, like cell phone addicts, by going to their actual like proper watering hole and poisoning the well. Right? They like, oh, if we just like I see all these like gamers, they're watching these streamers. So like if we just pay all these streamers to sit there and swipe
we bombard them with it enough of it.
Like we'll get some of these dopamine addicts. We'll get them because
we just need like one or two whales and the whole thing makes sense.
We only need a couple wins and we'll make it so like you literally, in order for your streamer, the guy that you love, that's like pouring his heart and soul into his work, in order for you to make him money, you have to put it on your phone. You need 150 downloads. It's the only way. And now that it's on your fucking phone, all you gotta do is open it up once a day and swipe. Just
It's even
swipe.
worse if they some of
Yeah,
these allow push notifications, so you don't have to even do anything. If it's installed, it'll push content to you,
yeah.
and it's just like,
I mean, this is why I understand what Linus did, and like it's something that I would never have ever done, right? Because I understand from watching streams, like I don't think any of like Linus isn't a stream watcher; he doesn't watch a lot of streams. But as someone who streams every day and like has a lot of friends that stream and like people who do this Shadow Legends shit, like I understand what it is. I understood what it was, and I would never have taken that fucking sponsorship. Not for you could have asked me, you could have said, "Hey, 10K." No. Because the thing is that the thing about like if you base your brand on integrity,
you
it
sell it.
always you have to keep it.
As soon
You
as you
have
sell
to
it, it's gone.
as soon as you sell it, it's all gone. And it's like past integrity lapses damage future integrity, like the claims, forever, right? You can't take that back. If 5 years from now I'm like, hey, buy this thing because I think it's great. And they're gonna be like, well, did you also think that Raid Shadow Legends was great? And I'm like, well, no, I just was hard up and I needed
Guys,
10K.
buy Shure
So
microphones.
yeah,
They're great.
exactly.
Like,
Like obviously it's a little bit hyperbolic. Like
yeah,
people would
of
understand.
course.
Okay, streamers got to eat, but that's you can't like you can only get away with that kind of shit so many times. Like if you're gonna really cash in, it's got to be very well understood like why you're doing it and what's going on, but you only get a certain number of them. If your brand is, hey, believe me, I'm saying this thing, buy this thing because I think it's good, and that's something I want or might want to do. And as long as that is true, you know, but other streamers is not the case. Like for some streamers, they're like, yeah, I'm just streaming and like this pays my bills and that's it. They're not telling you to do anything else. So like it's completely understandable and fair.
Right.
But I can understand why if you're a Linus, you look at that and you're like, well, I would never sell this anyway. So okay, like fuck it, and just kick the ad away, and that's it.
Yeah. Ads are
Yeah.
very, very interesting. It's the whole monetization of live streaming and video content's one of those things we could probably talk about for quite a while, and we'll probably come back to in a future episode. But
oh, for sure.
we've been going for a little while, and you probably need to go get some dinner if your wife's calling you.
Yeah, I think it's time. I'm also starving.
Wrapping up, any things you want to throw out there?
No, I was expecting this to be like a 15-minute podcast. I thought we were just gonna hit
stretched it a little bit.
We didn't even get to the topic 3 out of 3. We missed it.
I had a backup 4 and 5, and we didn't. Yeah,
this is the thing. Like, if you bring up ads, like I can't help it. It's like,
it's good content though.
I just don't have it in me to dodge. I gotta partake.
On my end, I guess in general, by the time people hear this, if you're watching this as a VOD, not the live version, but basically 2 or 3 days from now, we'll have some podcast platforms up with some of the data on it. Cobra X has got some of the VODs. I've picked out some decent theme music that we're going to put on bumpers, and we'll start shipping these out. We've made a bunch of progress on that. So look for those soon.
So Spotify, right?
Spotify, iTunes, not SoundCloud because that's a whole other separate thing. I'll explain that later, but a whole bunch of
SoundCloud, really? Is it shit or something?
This is a whole podcast topic, man. I can do 90 minutes on this alone.
Then put it down for next week.
Yeah,
because I would love to learn, and I'm sure it could be educational.
It probably will be for a lot of people, actually.
Because I know nothing.
Okay.
And I talk too much.
This is my area of expertise, where I can talk a lot. Okay.
Yeah, sure. Hit me up with this.
We'll
so is Pylon Show not on SoundCloud?
No.
Because you guys were.
The past episodes, correct. The past episodes are, but after a certain point, we stopped uploading them there. So like the previous archives are there, but they're not being updated any longer. And then everything else is being pushed through another aggregator, and that's a separate story and routine.
Yeah, okay. Next week.
Thank you for joining me.
All right. Thanks, buddy.
Have a great evening.
Good show.
See you all later.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Take care, guys.